Politicians travelling far and wide this week in the frantic final few days before polling, but not many of them will make it as far as Barra and the Outer Hebrides.
It is one of the most remote constituencies in this week's election. Well, in the final leg of his 1,000-mile journey across the UK, our People and Politics correspondent Nick Martin visits the Outer Hebrides, one of the most remote and marginal constituencies in the UK, to find out what important issues are to the islanders.
We'll find out how.
We're heading to one of the most remote constituencies in the UK.
You know, we started this journey 4 weeks ago in Cornwall, the very southerly tip of Britain. Well, now we're heading to the north, the Western Isles, and the first stop is the beach.
There is no runway here, and so they improvise. Life here relies on staying connected to the mainland.
Well, it feels a long way from Holyrood, the Scottish Government, or Westminster for that matter, but it'll be interesting to figure out whether people feel actually distanced from politics here.
26,000 people live in the Western Isles. Politically, it's swung between Labour and the SNP. It is a marginal seat with lots going on beyond Brexit. On the harbour, they land their fish in the morning and it's on a plate in Paris the next day. This business relies on being able to sell this product outside of Scotland, and so what happens after this election will be vital. Donald and Christina run this company, and they can't agree on one of the big issues, Scottish independence.
I see the benefits of being an independent Scotland. I think we're better off looking after ourselves. And you have to agree, Westminster aren't looking after it, because you just said there just now.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I want more powers to go to Scotland, but I don't want us to split, because we do a lot of business with England. And everything that we're sending away from Scotland, it's got to go through England to go to the continent.
Getting on and off this island isn't always easy. The SNP government promised 2 new ferries for the Western Isles, but they've been delayed. And no ferries means no tourists.
This is where the tourists are coming, and they're bringing the money. So whichever government can step in and say, you know, we recognise tourist industry in Scotland is absolutely paramount to the communities and to getting them to grow, that's the one I'll put my vote for.
The ferry is not the only link, of course. Everyone here wants fast internet access, something all the parties are promising to improve for remote communities. And that's important to people like Judith MacDonald.
A lot of people can now live here because a lot of people can work remotely. So it makes it's easier to work now with the internet, and yeah, so it's kind of opened it up to be you're part of the global community. You're not just stuck in a remote place as such because of technology.
You know, it doesn't matter really how far you travel away from Westminster. Those big issues keep cropping up, and they're just as important to people here on these islands as they are anywhere else in the UK.
To the north is the town of Stornoway, famous for its Harris tweed, shipped around the world from here. And Chrissy Mackay's job is to spot flaws in this fabric and fix them. And she's looking to politicians to do the same in her community, starting with Brexit.
I was always SNP here, but I want Brexit over and done with, so I'll just get on with it.
So who offers you the chance to do that?
Conservative.
It might be miles from Westminster, but just like the mainland, everyone's talking about Brexit, independence, and what might happen after this election. Nick Martin, Sky News, the Western Isles.